what to see, what to rent, and what to skip. It's Movie Reviews with Ryan J.
And we are back now with the nationally syndicated film critic, Ryan J. And today he's got quite the lineup of movies for Halloween weekend, including a superhero and a couple of thrillers, too.
But he's not Ryan J today. He's Charlie Chaplin.
No, I'm not.
Who are you?
I'm Robert Downey Jr. in his Oscar-nominated performance as Charlie Chaplin.
Of course you are! How did we mess that up? What were we thinking?
What were you thinking?
Great to see you here.
Fantastic. I love little old Hollywood.
You guys look amazing. We're all
fantastic.
movie stars.
Yeah.
Yay! I love
Old
it.
School movie stars.
So we're gonna is that your clothes or is that a costume?
We
That's
are
awesome.
actually all rented today from Miller and Campbell Costume Studios downtown, and they are so great to work with. We worked with Suzanne and Casey. So nice. It's so fun to kind of go play in their playground there.
Yeah.
Try on different sizes, different looks and stuff, and they were so great in working with us today for these great looks.
Oh yeah, even I mean everything
Gloves,
from my
the
gloves
period
and the
pieces.
necklace and just everything. They did a great job with
Yes.
yours too. And
So
thanks.
big thanks to them.
Thank you.
Yes, huge thanks to them, and a huge thank you to Michael Weiss who did our makeup today too.
Amazing, yeah.
He's
And yours.
fantastic,
Yes,
and yours
yes,
as
such
well.
a good
Looks
friend.
great.
He's so talented. I love him.
It's so good. Okay, so a couple movies this week. Birdman, we've been hearing a little bit about that.
This is
rated R.
Yes, and this is the first major Oscar buzz-worthy movie of the year, primarily for the performance by leading man Michael Keaton. It's sort of meta because he once played a big screen Batman, and in this movie he's playing an actor who formerly was famous as a big superhero movie star, and he's now trying to make a comeback.
Okay.
How's the rest of the cast in this?
So good. Emma Stone as Michael Keaton's daughter is brilliant. I could easily see her get a Best Supporting Actress nomination. Then you have Edward Norton and Naomi Watts and even Zach Galifianakis doing something different than you've ever seen them do before. They each have great moments, great monologues, speeches that are amazing.
This seems shot in almost a GoPro-esque vision. It's unique, it looks.
This is genius. The way this movie was made, the entire film appears to be one single shot without any edits.
No way.
And the amount of planning and choreography and ambition and technique that it took the entire crew to do this is so remarkable. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's worth seeing just for the technical achievement of this film alone.
So is it really like one camera shot? You're not seeing multiple different shots in a
Correct.
scene?
No editing. Exactly. It's really,
wild.
it's like just mind-blowing.
How would you describe the tone?
It reminded me a little bit of Black Swan. Remember that movie,
Yeah.
which won the Best Actress Oscar for Natalie Portman? So it's kind of like that because it's kind of quirky and odd, and you're trying to figure out what's real and what isn't. But by the end, there's a lot more levity to it and some comedy to it. I really like it. This one is a see it. This is, and not just for your Oscar scorecard. This is definitely worth seeing.
Okay, good. The next one, Before I Go to Sleep, rated R.
This movie I love. It puts the thrill in thriller. It's Nicole Kidman's latest, and she plays.
Oh, it's kind of like a psychological thing,
Totally,
right? Yeah.
totally. And she plays an amnesiac, so every day she wakes up, she can't remember anything from the last 10 years. So
Was this after my life?
That's just you after a good Friday night, right?
Exactly. What
Yeah.
happened the last 10 years?
No, it's cool. It has like a real kind of like horror-esque kind of ghost story atmosphere, but it's a real thriller. And Nicole Kidman, in a career of amazing diverse roles, once again, in a demanding role here, gives a powerhouse performance.
Absolutely.
How did you feel after watching it? I mean, did you feel freaked out?
You know, I almost felt like I was playing a game because it's so puzzling and it's so mysterious. This is a movie that would impress even Hitchcock.
Really?
Yeah, every time that I thought I knew what would happen next, I was totally wrong, and I love that experience. So this one really keeps you on your toes. This is the movie to see Halloween weekend.
Okay.
So forget Ouija, go and see Before I Go to Sleep. This is absolutely a
looked creepy
see it
right
on
there.
the big screen.
Okay, yeah, because what I'm thinking with someone who has amnesia, it's like take notes every night before you go to
Exactly.
bed so you can remember the next day.
Real suspense.
All right, that one was rated R. In fact, all the movies we're reviewing today are rated R. The next one is Nightcrawler. This one is a movie that's being released today too in theaters.
Yes,
okay.
and this is the crime drama starring Jake Gyllenhaal, and
I love him.
I love him too, and this is a really different role for him. I've never seen him do this. He plays a creepster who's not creepy only because of his greasy hair. I'll have you know. But he's He's a morally corrupt photojournalist, and some of the things he does in this movie are so disturbing and weird. He's like socially awkward. I personally diagnosed him as antisocial personality disorder.
I like that.
I have no degree
good.
to make such diagnosis, but just watching the movie, I spent a great deal trying to figure out what's wrong with him.
Okay. Do you usually like disturbing movies?
I do normally, but this one actually made me feel a little bit more cringeworthy than actually cool. So this one's more of a rental than a must-see.
Okay.
Because of that. It stalls a little bit between the action scenes, so it's not a perfect film.
Rent it. Now, Marilyn Monroe, our own Tiffany Ogle, starred in, I like to say, The Surface. It's a movie that you've seen too, that you can catch in theaters this weekend. Only 3 theaters around town, but it's The Surface. We've had Chris Mulkey here in our studio. You talked to Sean Astin. I know you did as well. What do you want to say about The Surface?
I think it's worth seeing because it's such a great effort from the Milwaukee film community. There's like 100 or more Milwaukee filmmakers worked on this movie. Tiffany and I were there at the closing night of the Milwaukee Film Festival. They had the premiere, so I did catch up with some of the filmmakers on the red carpet. We can check that out now.
As DP on a project, you're the eye of the film. So how much of it is a negotiation between like what your instinct is for what we're seeing versus what the director wants us to see?
Gil is one of the most gracious, giving directors I've ever met, and he gave me a ton of latitude on how to shoot it. It was a great relationship.
It's really interesting in this film because your character Mitch really begins in a difficult, desperate situation and has quite a story arc. What was appealing about this story to you for the character?
If you've ever been touched in your family or friendship circle with depression, you know that it's no joking matter. When I made this movie, I felt like it was a chance for me to, I don't know, share with people the fact that I see it.
It's interesting, the title is The Surface because it takes place on the water, but I wonder if it's also a play on words about things, emotions being just under the surface?
It is 100% about the idea that as human beings, what's going on in our emotional lives is not visible to other people.
This is about what's going on underneath the surface. It has to do with matters of the heart, which for a lot of us, it's hard to get to. And we don't let go. And part of the theme of this movie is that it's okay to let go. Because once you do, you can find help. And that might be to that accidental person that you never thought would become your guardian angel.
So great, and it's just a great effort by a Milwaukee film community, so it's really worth it to support some local filmmakers.
Yeah, and like Chris said yesterday, the more you see it, then it might expand to other theaters, and we can get Milwaukee featured.
Very cool.
And those issues on a bigger level.
So this weekend only at Marcus Theaters around Milwaukee.
That's great. Happy Halloween.
Thanks, you too. Let's go trick-or-treating now.
Yeah! You look fantastic.
You too,
Love it all. Thank you so much, Ryan. And you can like Ryan J on Facebook, follow him on Twitter, and for his full movie reviews, check out his website. It's ryanjreviews.com. Always a blast to see you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
Love it. Still ahead.